Alright guys, this is Matt from House Geeks, and today we're going to do a little what's on the desk video, and obviously a little channel update as well. As I've said before, I've literally been kitting out my garage, obviously it's a bit more sustainable for a geek room. We chucked out all the wife's rubbish, chucked out all the kids' toys, all the everything that's not mine basically. I've managed to move that into a separate shed. So I'm going to quickly show you what it is I've been doing in the, I suppose, the garage of Geek, I suppose though. So I've got all of my racking and stuff, which is still there. I've changed it slightly so it's slightly bigger. I can get more stuff on it now. This is just going to be a scenery racking, things I've done, things I've got to work on. So there's obviously a lot more unpainted stuff there, so I need to crack on with that. Moved all this racking across as well, so I've got bases, bits, Chaos Space Marine bits, normal Space Marine bits, Dark Eldar bits, obviously close to my desk. I'll put some shelves up there, obviously some models up there, do some close-ups for things that I've been working on in a minute. I've got a brand new desk, so it's obviously we've got a nice corner desk now of things I've done and things I'm working on. Obviously I'll do some close-ups of things I've been specifically doing. Going across more racking. Obviously, being I suppose a hobby room, I need to have as much racking as I can get, so I can actually store stuff away. More shelves. I've got quite a few shelves in here now. I actually need to decide on what it is I'm putting on them, I suppose. Under the desk as well. I've got little drawers for paints and hobby stuff that I've managed to acquire. Over in the corner, I've got a unit there that needs to go. I need to get rid of that somewhere. I don't exactly know where I'm going to get rid of it, but probably just chop it up and burn it. All of my cases. I don't know what I'm scraping there. There we go. Yeah, all my cases and spare cases and stuff, things like that. All the box of stuff there needs to be shifted. All this stuff needs to be shifted as well out of the way. And then I've got somewhere to put my gaming mats. Obviously, like I keep saying on the channel, I know I keep saying it, but we are literally only starting out at the minute. So we've only got the one gaming mat. So hopefully I manage to acquire some more. Obviously I've got 3 more bits of rack in there to get some more eventually. I've left enough room on the wall to get enough, some more racking in for more mats as and when we get them. I've got a nice big space here, so I'll be able to get a 6x4 gaming table in easy. Be able to walk all the way around it as well. Also, because of the size of the garage, I'll be able to do a 12x4 board going all the way across the garage, all the way across the floor really. So I'll be able to get bigger games, things like that, so that'd be quite cool. More shelving, obviously loads of blast markers, dice. That's basically what's going to be on that shelf. So as that's going to be over the gaming table, it'll be a lot easier just to grab hold of stuff. So blast markers, dice, tape measures, templates, or stones and stuff like that for rubble, things like that. Clip there. Don't even know what that is now. Just a cork board full of bits that I was planning of what I was going to do. Things like that. I think that will eventually come down, and I will hopefully have a cabinet there soon, a wall mounting cabinet, so I'll actually be able to put some models on display. This is going to be the scenery construction bit. So I've got scatter terrain there and all the scenery I need to work on at the minute, stones and all the random bits and bobs. So you can see here I've got more scatter terrain to come. So literally a box full there. I've got 3 full bags there, and the new armoured containers box. I only recently bought that the last week I think. So yeah, so hopefully I'll be able to get a lot more scatter terrain there. There's usually a desk here. It's there actually folded up at the minute. My wife had to borrow it for something she had to get done, so I had to dismantle it. But luckily, tables are really good. They fold away really easy into pretty much next to nothing. Right, so that's what I've been working on basically garage wise. Like I say, I can only apologise not putting you know, loads of videos up, you know, each week kind of thing, but I've literally been busy sorting this area out. So what we're going to do is we're going to go cut away, should I say, and have a look at things I've been working on model wise. Alright, so this is going to be the part of the video where I talk about what I've been working on. I suppose the quickest one to do, the first very quick thing I've been working on is very simple: ladders. Just trying to get some dry brushed out, just some put to the scenery, just to add a little bit of extra depth and things to some of the scenery that I've been doing. Then we'll go actually onto scenery. And what we've got here is going to be the base of the clock tower that I'm doing. So the base of the clock tower is basically, I've managed to get a small, I think it's about 6-inch square bit of small bit of plywood there. Put all the scenery around it, sanded it, stones, and then I just used the standard Games Workshop ruins. I can't remember what it was, but this standard Games Workshop plastic ones really. I managed to box it out. So what I've done here is I managed to put enough room in here to get a power source in there, because as people that are on the channel already know, that I like to put electrics in the building. So I managed to get some Christmas lights here. Obviously this all needs to be sprayed now, sprayed at the minute. So that will fit in there nicely. Obviously it's all ready to be sprayed because I've masking tape the top of it there. So the power pack and the excess cable will be able to go in here, and because it will be sprayed, it will be a lot darker. So the lights will actually shine. I'm not having any lights external, they're all going to be internal, to give a bit more of a glow. So all the lights will actually be able to shine through these windows. Now whether I put stained glass windows in them, I'm not 100% yet. I might do, because I think that'll give it quite a good effect, quite a good glow actually. Now the reason why I've got these as well is because it is a clock tower. I need it for extra support, but the reason why I've not glued it is because if for any reason the battery pack is damaged, is broke, the bulbs don't work for whatever reason, I need to be able to take the lights out, and then obviously replace it with one that does work. So I've put these in, and then so the second level, which is this one, so I've managed to drill 3 holes there. I don't know if you can see them to it. There we go, that's better. So you can actually see the holes here. So it will literally just slot into these 3 prongs. So the building will obviously be able to build it up. Now the reason why I've had this part of the building damaged, I can't really see it, there we go, that's a bit better. Lighting is not particularly very good in here at the minute. That's probably something I'll have to work on to get some new lights. Reason why I've took these out there is so I'm actually able to get at the battery pack. So obviously if that will slit on, see if I can get it now. Probably won't be able to do it now. Under pressure. Under pressure. Yeah, there we go. So that actually just fits on there nicely now. So with this bit here, the battery pack will be able to fit in there nicely, and I will put a mesh grate on it. Obviously it's not going to be this colour, I will paint it and things like that, and that will actually sit over the top of it slightly. So you'll be able to put a model in there if you really want to, but obviously it will just add, I'll be able to get in and actually switch the light on and off from here. So that's the second floor of the building. I'll take that bit off there. So obviously there's going to be another floor, and obviously I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 holes here this time for the top of the building. So with the top of the building, so obviously 4 prongs, 1, 2, 3, 4, which will just slot in the top there. It doesn't actually, I've tried it either way, so it doesn't actually matter which way I put it. If I could have it facing one way, I could have it facing the other way, it doesn't particularly matter. And then at the top we've got obviously the part of the damaged clock tower here. Now the clock face is actually a proper watch. Bought clock faces off eBay. I think I got a was it a 5? I think it was like a 5-ounce bag of clock faces I only needed one, but just getting one clock face was, it seemed to be more money to get one clock face than it would be just to get a bag of crappy old ones. So I bought a bag for, like, I think it was like £2. I think the postage was only, like 50-60p as well, so it wasn't too bad. So I managed to get a clock face on it just to give it a bit more depth, really. All the rubble and stuff at the back, obviously with the back of it being blown out. So when this building's done and finished, it will be the tallest building that I currently own. So it'd be quite a cool centerpiece for, you know, for snipers, devastator squads, just anything really. It just looked pretty cool having one really tall piece of scenery on the battlefield once it's all finished. So as you can see, it's all stoned and dry brushed, and now I have to go into all the detail of all the steel works and all the brass and all the skulls, piping. So yeah, I've still got quite a bit to do on that. If I get a good day, I should get it finished. At the minute, it's just a case of getting that day to get it done. So that's going to be it for that one. Right. Next thing I've been working on is probably, I suppose, a bit of a spoiler, I suppose, or a little bit of a up and coming thing that I plan working on. Kids have been in here and tipped my glue over. As you can see, this is a Khorne Age of Sigmar model. I won't be using it for Age of Sigmar. I will actually be using it for 40k. So there's no point showing you close. I'll show you a close up of it. So see if I can get it to focus. Wrong way. There we go. So yeah, so as you can see, I've taken off his other weapon. I intend on putting a bolt pistol in his hand. Still need to glue the sash on there, and on his back he will have a jump pack. So I am planning on doing a Khorne Demonkin army. So what this actually means for the channel is we're going to have some chaos on the channel eventually, and I don't mind mentioning it either. I've already spoken to somebody else, the other person. Basically, the other guy on the channel, which I'm sure you all know, is Aidan, I've had a few battle reports with Aidan now before. Me and Aidan decided to go halves on a Khorne Demonkin army. We also decided to get it commission painted, because obviously I just don't have time to paint another army while I'm working on an army as well as scenery and stuff. Aidan is also working on another army himself, so we just don't have time to paint another army. So we've decided to both combine our resources to do a joint army. So we decided to point it up. We did 1500 points each, and we decided to get it painted by a commission painter. So that was just a very quick chuck together. So I've got a Lord model here. Oops. And obviously he will be on Juggernaut. Do a quick close up for him as well. So what we've got so far. That way. So we've got basically a Juggernaut Lord, 2 axes. I might change one of these axes out. I might change this axe out for his axe, just so it's got a bit of variation, so it just doesn't look the same too much. Obviously, he will be armed with I think it's Gore Drinker from the Chaos Khorne Demonkin Codex, because that's what he should be armed with, because that just makes him beast. So yeah, so a little quick conversion work on him that I've been doing. Obviously the Juggernaut as well. Nice little base that I've done for them. I'll try and put him up to one side without dropping him. Another model I've been working on is obviously a Bloodthirster. Why not? If you're doing a Khorne Demonkin army, why not have a Bloodthirster? In fact, if you're doing a Khorne Demonkin, why only stop at one Bloodthirster? I have got another one planned. I just need to get around to buying it and constructing it. In the army list, I have a third as well. So yeah, it'd be very, very much a flappy death bat list. I need to get a new base for it. For some strange reason, when I glued them on a base, the base actually warped. Probably because the model is so heavy. So what I need to do is I need to drill something in the bottom of his in the bottom of the hoof there. So I might put quite a large pin in it, and as a pin comes out under the base, I will curve it, bend it round, so he'll actually be able to. Because it's quite a heavy model, really. I mean, I'm quite surprised Games Workshop did it, really, because it is a stunning model. I mean, it is. I mean, I really do like the model. But model-wise, I mean, he sits really far forward. I mean, he really, literally is leaning into his swings. Really, he does sit genuinely really far forward. The other bit of work that I've done on this is, for those of you that know the model. Let's see if we can't zoom in a little bit better there. Is I've actually filed away all of the corn symbols on the wings. That's a personal preference. I just didn't like the fact that he had like symbols on his wings. I just wasn't keen on it. So I decided to file them all off with my Dremel and with a special Dremel bit. I think it's turned out alright. I'm quite happy with it. In fact, I'm really happy with it actually. So I'll be doing it for the rest of the Bloodthirster models as well. So that is it for the Khorne Demonkin. Right, next we're going to go into the army that I will be using next, or the army that I'll be constructing next. The Khorne Demonkin is just something I do on the side, something for when I have time to do, because obviously it's going to be commission painted, so while something's being painted I can work on the army I'm actually going to start. And this is the army that I'm going to start. Now obviously a lot of people have probably known about it, some people probably haven't, and it is going to be a Eldar. That's come off. Oh well. Yeah, it's going to be an Eldar army. So we've got basically this is going to be my Farseer on Jetbike. Now a lot of you are thinking I don't notice that. I don't know what that model is. That's because it is just a normal Farseer on Jetbike. She's got a different head, different weapon, and the Jetbike is slightly changed, slightly converted. So we've got a face on the front. Now let's see if we can zoom in here. Whoops. There we go. So we've got a face on the front of the Jetbike here, just to give it a little bit of a variation. Obviously we've got a Dark Eldar Hecatrix head. We've changed the weapon out. And then for the fins at the back, we've got these. Now these are from the Dark Eldar Reaver Jetbikes. I did have one on the other side, but it looks like it's come off, or probably one of the kids has knocked it off. So that's one of the things about having kids and models. They're usually going to get broke. I really need to fix my padlock on it, or at least hide the key better. So yeah, so that's the Farseer done. Now I've tested. Basically, she wasn't my first Jetbike model. I did do a kit bash test model, which I had painted, which I will show shortly. So that's the Farseer, and then I have the Warlock. So as you can see, it's just a standard Warlock, same kind of thing on the front. So we've got the face on the front of the I think it's a Harlequin Jetbike face, and then for the helmet, just rather than just have the standard Warlock helmet, we changed it out, go for the I think it was from one of the witches, Dark Eldar witch models, different face. Rather than have the sword, we've gone for the Dark Eldar sword from the witches as well. And then rather than have the standard Eldar like fins on the back, I've given it blades just to make it look a little bit more menacing, really. The fluff behind these Eldar is they're like they're not Craft World Eldar, they're more like a Pirate Eldar, but they're not Corsairs. There's almost like a fine line between the Eldar that I'm doing and Dark Eldar. So they still believe in the Spirit Stones. They still believe, they don't believe on feeding on souls and feeding on pain and agony like Dark Eldar do. But they do heavily ally with Dark Eldar to get you know, it's just like a necessary evil, that rather than a lot of Craftworld Eldar frowning on dark Eldar, the Eldar that I'll be using almost accept it, but they don't particularly, you know, they don't fully turn to the dark Eldar ways, basically. So, which will then bring me to other models that I have been working on. Well, the other model I've been working on, obviously not painted, is my Eldar Wraith Knight. Now, as you can see, he's heavily chopped and changed, and funnily enough, he's got a big sword. The sword itself took me a while to do. I had to do 3 layers of plasticard to get it done. I wanted to go for something a bit menacing, so I tried to copy the Dark Eldar Incubi clave. So modelling the hands was a bit of a pain in the backside, but what I've done is I've managed to have it so I can pop the hands off and change the hands just for normal hands. I can't quite find them and put them somewhere, and I can't figure out where they are. And then I've left the holes as well in the guns, in the cannon bits, so I can actually put the D cannons on there, the D cannons, D lance, whatever, the wraith cannon, something like that, whatever they're called. So depending on what I'm doing, depending on what I want to do, from game to game, I can change it if I want to. So I'll quickly pop this out without breaking it. Oh, there we go. So I can take obviously take the sword off and put separate hands in there. Where the hell have I put them? I've put them somewhere. Probably kids have come and destroyed it. As you can see, obviously there's no armor plating on him yet. I've left all the armor plates off just to paint them separately. The model itself is magnetized, so he's got a magnetized head, so I can put the head on there. Obviously, for people that want to know, the fins on the side of the head were just literally the fins from the Dark Eldar Raiders, actually bent them to shape and glued them on, and they stopped on really well. Both the arms are magnetized, so I can move them around, or so I can have them in different poses, really, so I don't have to have them in the same pose all the time. The waist as well is magnetized. Well, probably better if I move my hand out of the way. Waist is magnetized. The legs aren't, I'm afraid, so I've managed to get them in like a running pose, which is quite good. I'm really happy about that. Fins on the back. A lot of people do that with their Eldar Wraith Knights. I really like it. I think it's a really nice idea. I've just used a standard fin from the Ravager, which is this one from the Ravager sprue, and this one is just a standard one, just to get it in there, really. The reason why I've not put the other side on is so I can actually get in there and to get that bit of, I don't know, Eldar fanciness, Eldar fanciness painted. So yeah, so really enjoyed working on him. He's been sat on my paint desk now for a good year or so. Obviously I wanted to get my Dark Eldar painted, Dark Eldar army done and dusted, which it pretty much is now. I am really happy of how it's come on over the past few months, and well, over the past year, really. So yeah, so that's a Wraith that I've been working on. So now we're going to go on to the specific models, which I'm sure you'll like to have a look at. Right, remember when I said, obviously showing you the Eldar Jetbikes, I did a tester model. Well, I didn't just construct it, I actually got it painted as well. So here he is. This is the Eldar Jetbike. I managed to construct, do a little kit bash, and got him painted as well. Now I actually got him painted by Striking Scorpion 82. Now, I've been, obviously, people that have seen his channel know that I've been down to, or hopefully know that I've been down to play Luke a couple of times now. He's a really nice guy. If you've not seen anything on his channel, I would definitely recommend people going to watch it. Really nice guy, real genuine. His brother as well is, really nice. Very welcoming as well when we went down to game them. So yeah, that's Striking Scorpion 82. all one word. I'll put a little comment down below so people can go and have a look at his channel. So yeah, so I actually got Luke to commission this for me. We were back and forth on colour schemes, what I wanted the army to look like, how I wanted to have the feel of the army. So I managed to scratch build the model, mixing bits from Eldar models and Dark Eldar models, and managed to get Luke to paint it for me. Now the web itself, I painted. The model came back. I didn't ask for any symbols or markings or anything on it. And then when the model came back, it was obviously stunning, really, really nice model, exactly what I wanted. But it just seemed to be missing something, like my Dark Eldar. I've got the green and the red, you know, special markings on it. I wanted these to have something special on these as well. Excuse me. So these Eldar, they're going to be called the Web Wraiths. So obviously I wanted to have some form of web on them, and what kind of web to, you know, put on them than a spider web. Now I actually used a paint pen to get the web on them first. Now these paint pens are Posca, which is this one here. So basically it comes out and it's very, very, very fine. I think I managed to get this one at 0.7 millimeters. So yeah, you can just see it there, look, 0.7 millimeters. So as it comes out, it's almost, you have to shake it a little bit, and as you break the seal, it comes out and it's very, very fine. Well, that's exactly how fine it is. Let's see if we can get a bit close up. So it comes out as a very dark blue. Now I have got a lighter blue as well. I put on a test model. I can't find the test model because it's somewhere. The test model, the light blue went over the dark blue fine, but it went over it exactly. It's almost like I needed to get a finer nib to go over it, because I still wanted that dark blue underneath to show, but I didn't want it to show obviously too much. So I actually put the dark blue on with the pen, and then I went over it with a fine detail brush with a lighter blue, and then again for a third time with a white. White mixed with a light blue, just to give it that like slightly ghost effect. So I think it worked really well. I really, really like it. I think Luke has done an absolute stunning job. It is literally how I pictured how I wanted them to be. I'm not going to get Luke to commission the entire army. I only got him to commission basically one model of each type. So Jetbike. This is the Jetbike model, so basically I use this model as a point of reference, so I can see what he's done, see how he's done it, and then I can pretty much copy how he's done it. I should be able to copy it pretty closely. Might not be an exact 100% match, but I reckon I'll be able to get it to at least 90% match, which I would really, really happy to copy really. So that is the Jetbike. And then we'll go on to this guy. Now this is obviously going to be a Dire Avenger. Again, I got Luke to do me the commission for it, commission paint it, so I can use it for a point of reference. So this model is a standard Dire Avenger model. He's got a Dark Eldar sword, and then he's got the Dark Eldar trophies, trophy racks at the back. I really like it. It's worked. Again, it's come out really, really well. Again, it's exactly how I pictured it to be. Me and Luke were backwards and forwards on ideas of what we wanted to do. So we've got the dominant colour here, which is the ghostly purple, whereas the Dark Eldar, it's a ghostly green. So these Eldar are more ghostly purple. The two off colours are very, very light blue, and an orange, just to offset it, and I think both colours complement it really, really well. So the rest of the Dire Avengers will be painted to this this standard and this kind of this way basically. Really, really happy the way it's turned out. So yeah, so that is the Dark Eldar point of reference. Oh, sorry, not Dark Eldar, the Eldar point of reference Dire Avenger. Put him to one side. We have another one here. So as you can see, this is a Fire Dragon. So it's a Fire Dragon Exarch, so I obviously got Luke to commission this. Me and Luke were back and forwards on how we wanted to do the Aspect Warriors. Obviously Aspect Warriors are predominantly their own aspect colours, so Fire Dragons are all orange, Warp Spiders are all their own, like a red and black, Dire Rangers are all a light blue, Banshees are all bone colour. I wanted to have it so that the Aspect Warriors follow the dominant colour of the army, but they still have that colour of their own aspect. So obviously we've got the dominant colour here of the purple for the craft world, it's for the web wraiths, and then we've got the orange helmet to signify that he is a striking scorpion. I think it works really, really well. I really, really like it. So yeah, so that's the Fire Dragon. I just think what he was called then, the Fire Dragon Exarch. So yes, really, really happy the way he's turned out. So the rest of the Fire Dragons will be looking like him. And then the final aspect, I'm only going for 3 aspect warriors, 3 different aspects in the Eldar army. So it'll be Fire Dragons, Dire Rangers, and then Warp Spiders. Now a lot of you are thinking, what the hell kind of Warp Spider is that? Now this Warp Spider actually came from a separate company. It's an independent sculptor that doesn't work for Games Workshop. He doesn't pretend he works for Games Workshop. He sells these as sci-fi elves, I think, something like that, something along them lines. Basically, it's a Warp Spider Exarch. I think it is absolutely gorgeous model. I saw the model online a while ago, and I just think it was absolutely stunning. I thought to myself, now I have to own that model. There is also normal models as well, so not the Exarch. There's just normal, like sci-fi elves that remarkably look like Warp Spiders that aren't called Warp Spiders. They are absolutely stunning models. Obviously, I got this painted by Luke as well. Luke really liked the model as well. He has asked me where the models came from. Some gentleman in Russia managed to do it. Managed to get the models sorted for me. The only downside to that was the guy couldn't speak a word of English, so everything had to be translated from English to Russian, and then when he sent stuff back, it had to be translated from Russian to English. Now a lot of things were lost in translation, but eventually the models turned up, and I was literally blown away by how detailed the sculpts were. I was blown away by how well they were casted. What's going on here? There we go. Yeah, blown away by how well they were casted as well. I almost had to do no filing. I had to do almost no cutting. The parts went together really well. The model itself is just absolutely gorgeous, and the way it turned out, I was really happy. So yeah, so that is the first of the Warp Spiders, Warp Spider Exarch. So I've got, I intend on having 2 squads of 5 of Warp Spiders. So obviously, being called the Web Wraiths, be a bit silly of me not to have plenty of Warp Spiders in the army. Alright, next we're going to come to another commission model I had painted by Luke Barker, Striker Scorpion 82. Obviously another point of reference model. The reason why I got these painted is because I won't be able to have every single all my army painted by him, but I wanted to get at least one model of each class painted by him so I could have a point of reference. So I could obviously copy the skill and the technique of how he did it. So we have here, obviously it's a Wave Serpent. Just a standard Wave Serpent from Games Workshop for Craftworld Eldar. Managed to glue on some chains, make it just the small. I didn't want it to make it too dark Eldar, but I wanted to make it enough to make it that little bit menacing. So we've got chains here, spike on the spike fin there. Got some skulls on the back of the. Can we see it there? There we go. Look, some skulls on the back here. And then obviously keeping in line with the jet bike, it was a very large area to have really, so I wanted to break it up by putting the spider web on it. So as I spin it around this side, I've got another chain here with a skull on it. So I managed to get the spider web on it this side as well. Now I think as a larger web, I think it looks a lot better rather than it just coming from the corner. The problem I had about spider webs is spider webs are very, very easy to draw, very, very easy to paint, but for it to look real, it's very, very difficult. I looked into spider webs. I know it sounds a bit silly, but I looked into spider webs, did a lot of research on spider webs, and spider webs are, it's like they're a cross between a regimented and random pattern. Obviously, spider webs are the standard, like from the center going out either way, and then the splayed edges. But the spider webs actually have to connect to something for it to work properly. So I had to. So as I did this model, I made the web connect to the edge of the black and spilling across into the other panel. Same here. I've got the top here and then spilling out to that top panel there, just to make it a bit more random, because I didn't want it to be too uniform, because then it just wouldn't look right. It looked too fake. So I really like it. I think it's worked really, really well. I'm really happy with it. I've shown Luke as well to see what he thinks of it. He really, really likes it as well. Really happy the way it turned out. Again, it's exactly what I wanted, exactly how I pictured it. Really looking forward to get stuck into the Eldar. So that's the Wave Serpent done and dusted. Then, finally, we've got the flyer. So we've got a Crimson Hunter. Now, rather than paint it crimson, which the obvious thing would be to do because it's called a Crimson Hunter, I decided to paint it uniform to the army, not to the actual aspect. Because I suppose it's part of an aspect host, Crimson Hunter. It's not rules-wise, it's not part of the aspect host, but it is like an aspect shrine. But I wanted to paint it more uniform for the army. Luke really liked the idea, so Luke went ahead with it. Again, really, really happy the way it turned out. Just to make it a little bit different, I put spikes on it. I think the spikes actually turned out really, really well. I'm really happy the way they came up on it actually. Looks like is it a Wraith Fighter with these fins on it, but with these fins on it, it looks like a Crimson Hunter. So I could probably use it for either or either really, as long as I tell my opponent what it actually is before the game starts. But yeah, it's definitely going to be a Crimson Hunter. Really, really like it. I think it came out really nicely, really slick. Put the spider web on it as well. This side. It probably won't be the same side if I decide to do any more. I've only got one Crimson Hunter planned. I don't plan on getting any more. But if for whatever reason I do get another two to make the formation, I could put. I'm not going to put them on exactly the same spot. I can put one on slightly lower down. So put one slightly down here. I could put one here and a large one here and a small one in the corner, or I could put one on the other side. Just to mix it up a little bit, really. So yeah, so really, really happy the way it turned out. Again, exactly how I pictured it in my head. Me and Luke were back and forth on ideas. I did plan on having putting an orange web on it at one point, having a blue and an orange web. Luke did warn me that it'd be too much. It'd make the model too busy. It would draw your eye away from the other things. I tested it on an old model, and Luke was right. Yeah, spot on, Luke, for mentioning that. Thank you very much. So that is it for the Eldar, really. And really, guys, that is it. That is literally what I've been working on for the past so many weeks, really. Obviously with the garage and the shed and things like that. Thank you everyone for subscribing. We're nearly at the 200 mark. I'm literally blown away of how much how many subscribers I've got. I never thought I'd get this much in this kind of space of time. I'm literally blown away by your guys' support. If it wasn't for you guys, I wouldn't be putting videos up. I've always said that I love the hobby, and I always have loved the hobby. You know, I've 22 years of gaming. If I can just help, if I can just help that one person pick up on a rule they've missed out, or help them gaming, or give them an idea, you know, help them build an army or things like that. You know, that is like, if I could just help one person, I'd be really happy. And to have almost 200 people subscribe to the channel, you know, I'm blown away. There's a lot of people on the channel that have subscribed from the start, that have been giving me encouragement, giving me ideas how to change things, what they'd like to see. You know, thank you very much for that, guys. You know, you guys know who you are. So that is it, really. I don't really think I've got anything else to show you that I've been working on, or have I? Now this is actually a long-term project that I've been working on. Something that not even my gaming buddies now have been doing. So let me zoom out here. Yeah, you guessed it, it's a night. It's a long-term project. I only do it if I've only got like 20 minutes here and there, kind of thing. I'm not setting time aside to get this done at all. It's just as and when. Yeah, it's a night. I'll be painting it like a browny bronze colour, obviously. The hatch does open, he says, famous last words. There we go. Now, why would the hatch open? Got computer panels inside which I managed to model in, and it opens because I've got a chair in it. I got the chair online from a can't remember the name of the company now. Reason why I want it open, why not? Probably another reason why I want it open is because it's got a light in it. I managed to put a light in. I've managed to put the switch down the bottom here, so it's actually part of the model. And as I switch it on, it should have a green hue there. So when the cockpit's over it, it looks it looks like a green tinge to it. Then I've got shoulder pad. Really happy the way that turned out as well. Obviously it's not finished. I still have to do all the scrapes, dents, all the dust and soot and things like that in it. I plan on having more nights eventually, but again, it's something it's just a long-term project, something that I don't particularly get a massive amount of time to work on. And then the pilot is this model here. Let's see if I can just sort it out here. Oh, children out. There we go. So this model will actually be sat on the outside of the night from the cockpit, and it's a female model. So I actually plan on having female pilots for the nights. So this is literally going to be the first one of many, hopefully many. It would be nice to have 6, but at the minute it's just the one. So that is it, guys. Just a nice little thing at the end there. Just some other little things I'm working on. I really hope you guys have enjoyed the little video. I have got more battle reports coming up. I am literally in the middle of planning one. It's quite awkward at the minute because obviously my children now are at school, so it's just trying to get around to planning, planning battle reports, getting them all in the diary and things like that. But I have got one planned. More scenery to come. I do actually plan on doing a how-to video for scenery for electrics and how I do my smoke markers. So that's it, guys. Thank you very much for watching. As always, please like and subscribe. It really does help us out. So yeah, that's it. So thanks for watching, guys, and I'll speak to you guys next time. Toodaloo.